Burnout is something that happens professionally. It's caused by stress work. Burnout is something that happens professionally and is caused by stress at work. Now, the way it can make you feel is very similar to other mental problems such as depression. Now, burnout is characterized by three components: exhaustion, cynicism, and inefficacy. So you get a sense of worthlessness and a sense of hopelessness. Now, if I were to joke about this, I would say exhaustion, I'm too tired to talk about it. Cynicism, you wouldn't care anyway. In inefficacy, it's not going to make any difference. But burnout's a serious subject. So let's get into actually what some of the symptoms of depression and burnout are. So I'm going to talk now about some of the symptoms of depression and some of the symptoms of burnout and where they may or may not cross over. What I want to say first and foremost is I am not a medical professional. This is through my own research and my own experience. So if you are having any severe symptoms of stress or you're feeling as if you're heading towards burnout, then please seek help straight away. It's really important and there is no shame in doing so. So what are the differences between burnout and between depression? So symptoms of both depression and work-related burnout include a depressed mood, low interest, appetite changes, sleep changes. This could be too much or too little. You can become very agitated and you can have a sense of low energy. This is included with a sense of worthlessness, thinking problems, you just can't get that mental clarity. I know I've certainly suffered with that. You may get suicidal thoughts, you may be experiencing a high degree of cynicism, and then there is the inefficacy. This is a sense of hopelessness, a sense of worthlessness, a sense of lack of control of your surroundings, and of course then there is the symptom of exhaustion. If you have 5 or more of these symptoms at any given time, you may be suffering from depression. Now, if you're suffering from stress or depression, please seek medical help as soon as possible. You may need some kind of medical intervention. But interestingly enough, some of the world's superstars actually express the fact that they suffer with depression at some point. Winston Churchill, for example, was a famous depressive, and some of our well-known leaders, some well-known actors and sports people now actually admit that they suffer with depression. Also, our armed forces, they suffer with depression quite obviously, and all of these people now seek help. It's becoming much more accepted in the public space. Okay, however, from that, 8% of people may have mild anxiety on any given day. So yes, your mood changes, it can go up and down, but a further 3% of people actually have what we call clinical depression, and it may not just be therapy that they may need medical chemical intervention to be able to sort out this particular problem for them. So depression, if you've got 5 or more of the symptoms I've been talking about, it may not simply be burnout. Burnout is not simple. It may be that you're suffering with depression, so please seek some help. Burnout is an emotional reaction. It's a reaction to extended to long periods of stress. What you can find yourself feeling is a sense of depersonalization. You really don't care. A sense of cynicism even. It's as if you're observing yourself from a distance. You've got a real lack of personal accomplishment. So it's an emotional response to extended periods of stress, particularly in the workplace. And if you've got other stuff going on at home or other areas of your life, the feelings of burnout can continue for very long periods of time. Now, as I've mentioned previously, it's often the superstars that start to experience burnout. This is because they care and they're deeply involved with their job, their role, or their business. And because they feel a lack of control, this depersonalization, this cynicism, cynicism, this lack of personal accomplishment can start to make them feel angry and ineffective. And this inefficacy, which is a very difficult word to say, then starts a cycle of events. Now, how do you tell if someone is depressed, or how do you tell if someone has burnout? Again, I am not a doctor, but to give you a very simple example, if you take a depressed person on holiday, not only will you have a very bad holiday, but their depression will not disappear. They will be in the same circumstances, both mental and physical, both during and subsequent to the holiday. Depression doesn't go away because you're sat on a beach with a pina colada. Now, however, if you take someone who is burned out away on holiday, their feelings of stress will dissipate as the feeling, the symptom, the thing that's caused the stress, the work stress, actually gets further into the past. So you can take a burnt out person on holiday, and over the course of the holiday and the course of the pina coladas and swimming in the sea, those beautiful sunsets, etc., that feeling of cynicism, that feeling of depersonalization and inefficacy will start to dissipate. Now, this will only happen if, when they get back to their original situation, things have changed. So if you take Dick, Jane or Spot on holiday and they're going to return to work and nothing's changed, then yes, they'll probably have a reasonable holiday, but as it comes to an end, they will know that they're going to go back into those symptoms. Burnout doesn't just disappear because you go on holiday. So in order to affect some kind of change, in order to identify the difference between burnout and depression, take Dick, Jane and Spot on holiday, but you must ensure that what's been causing the problem in the first place, the lack of control, the particular work stress, the project or the job, those have changed when that person returns. So a depressed person on holiday is still going to be depressed, but a burned out person on holiday, as long as the situation has changed, could return to the same job, the same work environment, the same entrepreneurship, and things will have got an awful lot better. So why do people get burned out? Okay, a prominent specialist in this particular area, Dr. Elric, says that it's actually erosion of engagement. It's a very poor job person fit. So we all know that if you're doing something you love, you can take on more and more and more. So it's not just about workload. So if you love your job, if you love playing that musical instrument, if you love playing rugby, football, tennis on a weekend, the time just flies by and you have total engagement with that activity. If, however, you're in the workplace situation and you don't feel that you are enjoying your job in any way, shape or form, then that leads to this erosion of engagement, which can lead to stress. So if you're enjoying your work, you're not likely to experience burnout. If you're not enjoying your work, then yep, burnout and stress could be a significant factor. What we all need to achieve is a degree of satisfaction in a job well done. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that you have to love your job all of the time, but you have to get a degree of satisfaction and have to feel that you have a degree of control over your environment and your circumstances. Otherwise, yes, you will get stress situations, stress symptoms that could lead to burnout. Now, we all need to put a crust on the table. So simply giving up a job because you hate it may not necessarily be the best way to go, but you can always look for situations and positions that have a better fit for you. It may be that your skills and your personal traits could be used, the skills you developed in this particular role, in a different industry or a different environment, and the stress, the lack of control and satisfaction could disappear. Now, this is all about how you react to stress if you are working for somebody else. It doesn't necessarily mean you hate your boss, you hate your job, but various elements within that are causing significant problems because of this lack of control, and it will give you a sense of inefficacy. You're just not able to do things or achieve things, and then we head into these chronic stress situations. Now, if you are a business person or an entrepreneur, don't think that you are immune from this too. Guess what? you know, you start your business in order to do something you love. You're the world's greatest gardener, you bake fantastic cakes, or you do marketing that takes the business to the next level. But guess what? Yeah, you've suddenly got to do accounts, which you absolutely hate. You've got to talk to suppliers, you have to buy product, you have to find distributors. You know, you're doing all sorts of things that suddenly you didn't actually sign up for. You just want to make beautiful paintings and fantastic arty cakes, and you've got to do all this other stuff. And that means that you could actually end up with this sense of inefficacy, this lack of satisfaction, because you're not doing the thing you set out to do in the first place. So that's the erosion of engagement. So we all know that if we are fully engaged, no matter what the workload, well, not no matter what, because yeah, everyone needs an off time and an off switch. You know, you can cope with huge amounts of stress. If it's taking you to the next level and you're looking forward to achieving something, you can take up huge amounts of stress and workload and it will all be fine. But if you hate what you're doing, you feel you've got no positive outcomes, and you're blindly continuing with no sort of direction or goal, then this is going to lead to serious stress situations, which can lead to burnout. So that's my video on burnout. It's a serious subject. How do you know you've got it? Well, if you are disengaged, you feel ineffective, and you have a lack of control, and you're getting stressed about it, yes, those are symptoms of burnout. So there are things that we can do to make life much better for ourselves, our families and our colleagues, and we'll talk about those in other videos. But for now, I hope this has given you an insight. If you're recognizing any of these symptoms in yourself, please seek help. Thanks for watching this video about do you know if you've got burnout, a particularly serious subject. I hope you found it useful, and if that is the case, please hit the like button. I'd love you to subscribe to the channel where I talk about all sorts of subjects to do with business and confidence. So please subscribe, and I look forward to having further conversations soon. You can also catch up with me on Facebook, The Brainy Biscuit, and my Instagram page, The Brainy Biscuit. And if you feel like exploring other aspects of your personality, or you want to know how to get anything you want in this life, head on over to thebrainybiscuit.com, where I've got all sorts of resources that will groove your truffles. So for now, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I look forward to catching up with you anywhere very, very soon.